without the other to a great extent. Now, if you have adequate air, water, food, clothing, and shelter, and don't have to worry about getting those, you have nothing else to worry about, really. Those are the essentials. Beyond that, it is all your attitude that determines whether or not you're going to be healthy or happy. Now, there's certain things you need to think about every day of your life, almost every moment of your life. And that is there anything so important that I should damage my health and my happiness by paying attention to it, allowing it to ruffle my feathers, so to speak? Well, I can't think of many things that are worth that, including the current situation throughout the world. And so, what are you going to do to stay healthy and happy? Well, the most important thing may be to make an intention to do it, to decide.
Every thought is a prayer.
And thinking sets in motion spiritual forces to bring about change in body, mind, companions, hope, despair. Everything is affected by your thinking. And your thinking is affected by many things if you allow it to be. That is one of the reasons that I am so pleased to know how to detach from the crap that goes on in the world every moment of every day. I don't pay attention to it. I've never really, interestingly, I've never been an addict of television. I've never hardly been a fan of any kind of television, I'm glad to say. And I haven't turned it on in the last 4 years and plan on never turning it on again because I don't like to waste my time. I'd rather read a book than watch television. It's much more important to me to do that. On the other hand, there's one other thing that's really important, and that is even if you're not laughing at something that makes you laugh spontaneously, there's something called laughing meditation. I picked it up actually from a dermatologist in Norway many years ago. He introduced it to me at a workshop. I went over there too. And it's really fascinating. Just artificial, make do laughing raises your DHEA.
Yep.
It's contagious.
Yes. It's great.
Once
Absolutely.
you start, it's hard to stop, actually.
Yes.
Now, interestingly, in 1984, Norman Cousins wrote a wonderful book called Anatomy of an Illness, in which he went through the details of healing himself from a very severe case of rheumatoid arthritis of the spine with laughter and intravenous vitamin C. The laughter was not the, make yourself laugh artificially as in meditation, but to listen to funny things that made you laugh.
And interestingly enough, if you look at biochemistry, and this is we love biochemistry and otherwise neurochemistry, even the simple exercise of forced, not necessarily forced, but artificial laughter, so to speak, it will actually stimulate the same response in serotonin, norepinephrine, dopamine, all of the neurochemicals and all of the beautiful things that make life happy. Yeah.
And fun.
And fun.
And of course, the question is, what are you going to do in your life if you don't feel healthy or happy? And it's hard to feel happy if you're not healthy. It's hard to feel healthy if you're not happy. Those two are so intertwined.
Yes.
It is critically important that you train your brain. And of course, that's where the whole problem of biogenics comes in. But it involves everything from the moment you get up in the morning through the moment when you go to bed at night and the night you're sleeping. Everything affects everything if you allow it to. Now, I just don't allow what I consider nonsense. If it doesn't make sense to me, I don't allow it in my life.
Perfect. Now, let's go back to 1908. Very famous year, right?
And that was at the height of the hypnosis rage that was going on around the world to a greater or lesser extent. And Emil Coué, a pharmacist in Nancy, France, made a reputation of curing people by having them just say every day, in every way, I am better and better, over and over and over again. Training the brain every day in every way, I am better and better. Now, interestingly, he was laughed off the stage in this country.
But laughter is good. So,
but they didn't know that they were making something good out of something they didn't like.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So basically, and this is actually very interesting. What I love about Emil Coué, and this is part of the biogenics, by the way, biogenics program. But there's another exercise in addition, and happiness is an inside job, which is a recording on the biogenic self-regulation series now.
And that came out in the 70s. I remember when it became a popular phrase. But it is an inside job. Almost everything is, of course, in your life. But happiness is how you choose to think and behave and act and react. So you have the choice. Be happy or be unhealthy.
I'll go back to another time period, which is very important as well. Viktor Frankl. You know who I'm talking about.
Indeed,
okay, the creator of logotherapy and a survivor of Holocaust. He was in a concentration camp, and there's actually several books that are very much worth reading, especially in our society's situation and culture. And the interesting thing is, this is my takeaway point. I love him as an author. Between a stimulus and response is a freedom of choice. So you can have two, let's say, identical twins in the same exact situation with the same exact circumstances, absolutely polar opposites of happiness, and another chooses concern and worry.
No question about it. And I've known, like brothers like us, and I've known twins who fight.
Yes.
I mean, why would you allow yourself in that situation if you had someone who genetically is so like you and you're raised by the same parents? Why would you allow that? Well, personally, I wouldn't choose to allow that.
That's right.
On the other hand, I have to say, I never had a sibling with whom I had a good relationship, but she didn't interfere with my happiness. I didn't choose to allow her to interfere with my happiness. She was 2.5 years older than I am, and she became very depressed when I was born, interestingly. Now, my mother had hyperthyroidism, very overactive thyroid while she was pregnant with me. She had weighed 75 pounds when I was born. I assume that was right after my birth. I don't know. But at any rate, obviously she was frail. And she had a baby to take care of. She had a 2.5-year-old to take care of. And I never suffered as a result of any of that. But my sister decided to become depressed because my mother, she felt, had ignored her.
I just want to point out a key word of what you just said. Decided to become depressed, or allowed herself to become depressed.
We don't know exactly
but
the moment it happened, but we do know that even when she was 56 years of age, the last time she and my mother were together, she accused my mother of abandoning her when I was born. And my mother's response was, I didn't abandon you, you abandoned me.
But isn't that what people do? In other words, most people, now I'm not saying there's not bad situations. There's terrible situations in the entire world, or the universe, as far as I'm concerned, is going through a turmoil of proportions that are, we're not going to talk about too many things on the radio of that nature, just, be proper and all that stuff. But I'm just going to say, in this environment, it is so easy to become polarized. It is so easy to get involved in us versus them, or whatever other dilemmas and conflict and issues and problems and stress. And that is what's killing us. Let's come back to Dr. Selye, 1930s and 40s. Stress, which is the opposite of happiness or detachment or release, is actually behind 95%, or close to maybe to 100 of all the chronic medical and mental health issues.
Well, Sir William Moses said the same thing in about 1908. He gave a major lecture on it as stress is a major cause of disease. That stress is unhappiness most of the time. Unhappiness with something. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's your foot or your love life it doesn't matter what it is. Now, obviously, again, if you are in that situation where you're missing the essentials of life, it's difficult not to be stressed. But assuming that you have adequate income, and a way of continuing that, then, well, it's a question of attitude, decision. I can choose whether I'm happy or unhappy. And I choose just to ignore those things that I don't like.
Detachment is one of the key things. Now, how does one practice or train detachment? Now, when we say detachment, I want to make sure that the people understand, the audience understands, that we're not talking about apathy.
Oh, no.
We're not talking about hopeless, helpless. We're talking about detachment in terms of letting go of, may I say the word crap on the radio, that doesn't belong in your life.
Well, in other words, can I change it if
Yes.
I put all my energy into it?
Right.
And is it worth my energy, or would I be better off fighting it or ignoring it? That's the real final decision.
And if you can do something about it, and it makes you happy to do something about it, then act. But do it now. Do it in the present moment. Not I should have done something in the past,
50 years ago.
50 years ago, and I'm still depressed about it. Or I should be doing something in the future, or something may happen in the future. Again, the future is yet to come, and the future depends on what we do now. It's an action and consequence. And this is I just keep going back to the concept of Viktor Frankl. Between every stimulus and response is a decision, is a freedom of choice. Even in the worst, the most difficult situation, there is an opportunity to either make the best of it, or take a lesson, or basically, or just get through it without unnecessary trouble. Or a person can go as deep down that rabbit hole as they allow. And if we, in our current society, I'm just going to make a general statement, I'm not going to go any further with that. I think the goal is to get everybody to the breaking point, so that everything is us against them, and basically conflict, concern, stress, and life reduction by all means. So this is essential. It's not even an option in our society. And I'm not just talking about America. I'm talking about the entire world.
But every moment of every day, you have a choice.
Yes.
You have a choice of whether or not you breathe. Now, most people breathe automatically, but some people can hold their breath when they are stressed. And it's just a question of deciding whether you're going to fight it or work with it and allow it to happen in a better way.
I want to jump in with something. This is very interesting. This is one of the insights that came to me through the times, and this is what I tell people all the time. Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? Do I have to do put a subject next to it?
Or do I want to?
Or do I want to? Because actually, as you're 100% correct, there is nothing we have to do in this world. Absolutely nothing. We don't even have to breathe. That's, a person can try to hold their breath. They'll pass out. They'll wake up again because the body will take over, and then they can hold their breath again. But again, that's their choice. Life is a choice. Life is an opportunity. I discovered that during the accident when I crashed. I was literally pretty much sure I was dead, because I let go of the wheel. I mean, after I went off the road, I lost control of the vehicle. I knew it was a bad situation, so I was just getting ready to go, and I was at peace with it. I really was. But when I realized I was still here on this earth, and there's trees and all those kind of things, I did wonder for a few minutes whether this is afterlife or not. But I mean, after when I realized I'm still here on earth and having some back trouble, which kind of woke me up a little bit, from the into the situation and so on and so forth, it became very clear several things. Number one is life is a beautiful thing; it's a gift, and second of all, not to fully enjoy it and make the best of it. I mean, it's literally throwing away a gift, and happiness is if you're going to live, be happy.
Well, the interesting thing is the choice of whether you eat a healthy diet,
yes,
whether you eat or don't eat, whether you drink a adequate amount of water, all of those are your individual choice. Now, interestingly, I saw a gentleman today who has uncontrolled hiccups. He has been to major places, Mayo Clinic, Barnes, and other places. Nobody's been able to help him so far. I don't know yet, but it looks to me as if something has gotten out of control with his vagus nerve, essentially, and his stomach. And interestingly, I will know within a week or two whether the gamma pimp helps that, because I can't think of anything else that might do it.
Let's summarize a little bit about gamma PEMF, because some people some audience may have heard about it. Just a brief summary.
Basically, gamma brain frequency, 40 cycle per second, was discovered some years ago in Buddhist monks who meditate 8 hours a day. That was their natural brain state. And so we fortunately have devised a pulsed electromagnetic frequency device, which is amazingly safe. The only contraindication is really a pacemaker. It puts the brain into gamma. You don't have to do it 8 hours a day. You can do it 8 minutes to put it into gamma. But if you don't do it an hour or two a day, it won't train the brain.
And by the way, when I wear the PEMF, not only is it good for healing the entire cellular, all the cells, trillions of cells, literally. One of the beautiful things about it, it literally, and this is not just me, it's multiple other customers, which is why I love this device, is it literally, it allows you to enter the happiness or the I'm okay state.
Yes.
Now, if you choose to stay there, now you can fight it, of course, and well, nothing is stronger than a human mind. That's just a given. But if you're interested in tools to help optimize health, wellness, and by the way, most people, tell me if you agree or disagree with that statement, but this is what I've seen in my 20 plus year career in medical field. People make a choice, conscious or subconscious, but they make a choice to be healthy or to be unhealthy.
Well, interestingly, if you consider it that way, it means that only 2.5% of people have made the right choice.
To be fully healthy.
Right, because 97.5% have chosen 1 to 5 unessential and unhealthy habits.
Yes.
Now, if I know a habit is going to be unhealthy, I'm not going to choose it.
Yes.
All I have to do is, that's unhealthy. Okay, don't pay attention to that one.
And when a person... I think it just makes sense, and this is what I notice. When a person actually is in a good place, health, happiness, wellness, they're feeling good. They're more willing to take care of themselves, to give themselves the love, the care, even the basics of health and moving forward.
Every day it is important to be aware of the basics of health.
Yes.
And at the top of that list is actually your weight.
Mm-hmm.
The most common cause of dis-ease today is excess weight.
I like how you say dis-ease, because that's really what that is.
Exactly. And so when you have a body mass index above 24, your body has put on weight. By the time it gets to a body mass index only of 30, and by the way, a minimum of 36% of people have 130 and above, but another 36% have one above 24. So only 28% of people have a normal body mass index. That's the top list. The second one is still 22% of idiots still smoke. I don't care if you a mind that I called you idiot. You are. By definition, anyone who smokes is not taking care of themselves. They have what used to be the number one healthy habit or disease. Unhealthy habit, whatever it is. Number 3, the average American eats only 2.2 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. You might as well starve and eat junk, because that's what they're eating. 80% of the food available in this country is unequivocal junk. In the grocery store, I would say conservatively, somewhere between 16 and 8% of the entire food in there is junk. So if you don't raise all your own food, and I do raise a good deal of my food, you need to choose wisely. Choose vegetables. 80% of your entire intake should be vegetables with a little bit of fruit. It actually should be about 70% vegetables, 10% fruit.
And about 20% good quality protein.
Quality protein.
Yeah.
Of other kinds.
Agree. Yeah.
Various kinds. And then, of course, move. The average American sits all day.
And by the way, movement, activity, endorphins, feel-good stuff.
It makes you happy.
Serotonin. I mean, my God.
It raises your DHEA.
Yes.
It makes you feel good and happy. However, only 10% of Americans move enough to stay alive.
Absolutely.
Only 10%. 90% might as well be smoking a pack or two of cigarettes a day. That's the equal
Yes.
in unhealthiness to sitting all day.
And of course, stress, which is actually, as we said, it's behind pretty much everything that goes bad. And by the way, stress, if you hear, I'm going to make a statement. Our practice specializes in stress management. Now, it sounds simple, but what does that mean? Stress is physiologic, it's nutritional, it is mechanical. Stress can be from surgery, stress can be from medications, side effects of unnecessary drugs, stress can be from electromagnetic, poison, toxicity, all sorts.
I had my first consultation today.
Yeah.
Was with a lady who is extremely sensitive to all the electromagnetic energy around her.
Yeah.
And she lives right outside a major city.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you couldn't pay me to live in Springfield, actually. And it's not a very big city. I would even live in little old Pleasant Hope, which is only 694 or something like that. I want to be on a farm, away from people. I don't care if it's only 40 acres, as long as I can be where I can be as far away as possible.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we moved to a place where there's no 5G.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, I love it.
They're going to keep it that way?
I hope so. It'd be, if they put up a tower, I mean, I'm going to complain, but
Right.
I'll be happy after I complain. I'll just let it go.
And of course, do you sleep?
Yes.
77 or 8 hours every night?
Yes.
Actually, only 58% of people get adequate sleep.
Now, let's talk about some basics. Now, we talk about supplements and things like that. Now, you don't need supplements necessarily to be happy, because you can be happy, period. You can be happy in any given circumstance, but it sure helps when you have brain support, when you have certain basic immune and, most important, DHEA, dehydroepiandrogenase, the health and wellness and just well-being hormone.
And those are enhanced,
Mm-hmm.
if you will, optimized by Fire Bliss, as well as Eugesterone Cream,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Youth Formula.
And vitamin and essentials, which is B complex.
Yes, the essentials to balance the vitamin C intake, and magnesium lotion.
That's right.
80% of Americans are deficient in magnesium, and you're wasting your money to put it in your mouth, put it on your body. It won't help you one iota in your mouth, but it can enhance your health, raise your DHEA, and help make you healthily, happily.
Yes, but it's still a decision. It is still a decision.
Choose to take 2 simple teaspoons twice a day.
Yes.
All it takes. That is one of the keynotes for it, and we'll be right back with you after this.
Now,
so let's see if there are any questions from what we started off with. And I forgot to mention 2 other important things, but they are related to what we're about to talk about, supplements.
Yes.
Yes, so one person's asking, they said they're having hair loss. They say they have a TSH of 5.74.
Oof.
And asking for help with that.
Well, now there I need to know why they are that low in producing thyroid hormone, or why the pituitary tend to make more. If their temperature is below 98.6, they actually are very hypothyroid. And my suspicion is they're going to need replacement of thyroid. And the usual one given by the average physician sucks. It only works about 10% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So check your temperature after you've been out of bed 2 hours. If it's below 98.4, you are hypothyroid.
And thyroid is one of the master hormones, literally. So that will affect everything: energy, hair, skin, every organ system in the body. And it's going to affect the mind too. So if you're not, if there's not a good holistic physician near you that you like and trust, I would strongly suggest a consultation. And we certainly do telephone and Skype and all sorts of things.
Armor's thyroid, much better.
That's our favorite. So 417-351-5221. Yeah. Rob, anybody else there?
Okay. Somebody was asking if you could elaborate a little more on the magnesium lotion. versus magnesium spray if they have it?
Well, magnesium by mouth, first of all, it's not absorbed if you have protein, fat, or calcium in the gut at the same time. And I demonstrated this back in the 90s and demonstrated that you're wasting your money and time by taking it by mouth. But if you put it on the skin, it is absorbed through the skin. And it raises DHEA 60% by itself. Even if you don't do any of the other things, you can raise your DHEA 60% with magnesium lotion.
Perfect. And it's a deficiency in most people.
Well, it's basically in our soil.
Yeah.
Our soil has been overworked and under-nurtured, so to speak.
So it's basically an essential supplement, as a matter of fact, and it's an intracellular element. So by the time you get to the place that magnesium is low in the bloodstream, in the blood work, you're in a really bad place.
Yeah, because it actually 90% of it is inside the cells instead of inside the blood.
So now,
any other questions?
And I think that's all the questions I've
All the
seen
questions
right
at the
now.
moment.
A lot of comments just saying thank you for sharing. And
Well, remember, happiness is an inside job, and it is possible. That's the most important thing of all. If you don't want to get the Biogenics course or go to our website and get the laughing meditation exercise just by itself, try, just try laughing. It's hard to stop once I get started. I have to remind myself I'm not supposed to keep doing this.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I enjoy doing it. Doing it for 5 minutes will raise your DHEA. Now, I haven't done a study where we had people do it just 5 minutes a day to see whether it did it over a period of time.
Now, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, we know it does it immediately, but how long it lasts, we don't know.
But you know what? If you do it every day, that you're developing a habit, and that's neuroplasticity, resetting the brain. That's good.
A good habit.
That's a good habit. Yeah, happiness. Let's make another. Let's add another thing to the essentials. Happiness. How is that?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
Happiness is health, and health is happiness. I mean, they are again interchangeable.
By the way, a little personal observation. I noticed myself. So I was in a hospital. I'll share a little something personal, and they literally tripled the bill from the surgery without an explanation. So I was fuming. Now there are several
hospitals remind me of why I wrote a book called Third Party Rape.
Thank you. I love that book. And I was actually, I used to be 99% on the page with you, but I am 100% right now because from what I've seen. But I'll just to give an example, and if we still have a few minutes or so, or a minute. 20 seconds. Basically, and I went through an episode of anger, frustration with the entire healthcare system, but then I decided, why am I going to kill myself with my own energy?
Over their negativity.
I'm just going to deal with it as it comes. That's it. And I'm going to keep smiling. That's a choice.
Now, back to Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Norm Shealy and Dr. Shealy-Sorin.
And folks, at the top of our list, among other things, for health and happiness, in today's polluted world, you can't get everything that you need out of food unless you are the most rabid farmer in the world, raising 100% of all of your food. And I don't know how I could do it to get as much vitamin B complex as you need now. Because once upon a time, you needed only 1 to 2.5 milligrams of B1, B2, B3, B4, B6. Now you need 25 milligrams to keep your
minimum.
Yeah, to keep your brain healthy.
Yeah.
And you need D3, and you need magnesium lotion, and you need vitamin C, especially in our youth formula. Now, for most people, where are you going to find that? Well, go to my favorite health food store, Spring Valley Natural Foods, right here in Springfield. Now, I want something. That's where I go. And the reason I go there is they come and help me. If I went into the other health food stores, I've tried it twice, and I walked out after being frustrated because I couldn't find anything. At Spring Valley, they come and find for you what you want. How do you find out of 10,000 items what you want? Spring Valley Natural Foods, the place to go, and you should too. They carry, of course, all of the goodies that we recommend and more. And, of course, then there's my favorite food supplement. And I honestly believe 100% of Americans should take this, at least the 98+% who aren't getting enough natural stuff. Orex, antioxidants, nature-blessed tart cherry juice concentrate. 2 tablespoons gives you the equivalent of 3.75 regular foods, excellent foods and vitamins. And you find it only at a real grocery store in the produce department. If they don't have it, it's a fake grocery store. And of course, it lowers your cholesterol, it lowers inflammation in your body, it lowers your blood pressure, and it tastes good. And it takes no time at all to drink 1 tablespoon of Nature Blessed Star Cherry Juice Concentrate.
It's hard for me to stop at 1 tablespoon, though. I mean, I just...
I do too. I have to. I like the taste of it that much. But it's good for you, and it's good for your body and your health. And, of course, now, let's get back to everything that's important in your life, happiness and health, and your phone calls, 417-447-1777. Right now, you get a free call, a free consultation right here on the air from Dr. Shealy-Sorin and me.
Now, I just want to...
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello.
Well, good afternoon, doctors.
Hello.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
I'm doing very blessed. I've got 3 quick questions.
Mm-hmm.
And very, very pertinent. Wouldn't it be awesome if all of a sudden that you gentlemen who are touching the earth with naturopathic wonders would get a call to be on the board of directors of Cox Medical Center and Mercy Hospital?
Wow.
Merciless, I'm sorry, is what I call it. I got to say, I've had more trouble getting things done there in the last year than in the previous 50 years.
If I'll add a little something.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I think I probably would say no.
You know what? I would say possibly yes if I had a chance to change the system. But I'm not sure the system is changeable. We've been around Norm, how many decades have you been in the system? Have you seen the system in action?
Well, I've seen it in my entire life since I entered medical school in 1952. So
and it's not getting any better.
It's getting worse by the year.
That's right. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bob. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay,
You got it.
Yes, I'm wanting to find out. An extremely good friend has gone through COVID, and thank God he's on the backside of it. He had some ivermectin, the D3, vitamin C, several other really good stuff. But I mean, he was pitiful bad.
Yes.
Now he's got some neuropathy in his feet and some pain that he's never ever had before. Now he has the wonderful magnesium lotion, and that did help him to sleep last night. Is there anything else when you're on the backside of COVID-19? I got one other question. Go ahead.
It sounds to me as if he needs a gamma pimp device, because it sounds to me as he's either probably pre-diabetic, and I bet they haven't even diagnosed that. He needs a hemoglobin A1C immediately.
And I'm going to add, and I fully agree with Dr. Shealy, by the way, but I'm going to add another reason for the PEMF, because I was going to go there myself. It actually optimizes the cellular structure for trillions of cells, and you're talking about the post-illness effects, including hypoxia, thrombosis, inflammation, all those things. And the PEMF is literally a the recharger for the trillions of cells in the body, which is what is needed to recover from that type of an injury.
One of my dear friends that has been to you several times will remain unnamed. He absolutely thinks that is the greatest thing since peanut butter and jelly, which those aren't healthy. But I mean, he is resting better, has a better attitude, and just overall is enjoying living, at 75 years old. So you guys have been a miracle. Now, question, the jab.
The jab.
Does it have, that's another word for vaccine. Does it have graphene oxide in it? And is that in the mask? And is it also in some of the cotton tips? Or is this all a bunch of nonsense?
All I can say is it's all poison.
That's
the simplest way of putting it.
Yeah. Actually, this is where I'm going to take a fifth, because we want to stay on the air. But your point is very, very well taken. And please do look into graphene. It's a real issue. Yes.
May God bless you all, and thank you so much.
Have
Bye.
a good one.
God bless. Absolutely.
And good afternoon. You're on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes.
Yep. Hi.
Do I have a reverb going or not?
Yep.
Okay. I'm interested in asking a question to Dr. Shealy.
Okay. I'm listening.
Oh my gosh, you're there. Oh, doctor, I'm sorry. I was waiting for somebody in your intermediary. Yeah, I have your Gamma 30 recording,
Yes.
and I'm also a lover of beautiful music. And my question is this: can we move on beyond the lead sledgehammer hitting an anvil sound? Because that's the one that it doesn't wake me up; it knocks me out.
Ah, okay. Well, the recording it's a beautiful recording.
My gamma favorite. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the artist has created it the way it is. We
can't change it.
We can change that without their permission. I mean, but it's that's what they liked, But it is it's a wonderful thing. And gamma, by the way, is a wonderful state. It's in the zone. It's relaxation. So I'm glad. By the way, my name is Dr. Shealy-Sorin lately myself. I changed my name to match Dr. Shealy and to honor his legacy. So technically, I am Dr. Shealy as well. But Dr. Shealy, feel free to continue, please, or answer.
Well, the most important thing, if you need more gamma than you can get out of the gamma music that I like, you need to get the Gamma Pimp. Putting it on for an hour or two can give you a whole day of being at peace.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
I'm sorry. You need a Gamma pin?
PEMF. It's an electronic gadget.
In addition to the recording, which also is very helpful.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to anything. You can just put it on your body or on your head, and it puts you into gamma state electrically.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look into that.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
I certainly welcome your information. I hope it feels like overload, but I can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for calling. Have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
And now is your turn, 417-447-1777, to get any information about anything, because it's all related to your health. Every thought, action, and thing taking anywhere in and around you is important for your health. But the most important is your attitude and your choice of attitude. You can choose whether to be happy or unhealthy. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, I was just listening to you guys, and you were saying something to pick up at one of the grocery stores to drink a tablespoon a day.
Yes, the grocery store is one of the best ORACs that we're talking about.
But
yes.
In the grocery store, you're not likely to find it. At Spring Valley, you would find ORAC Rich.
ORAC? Okay.
Yeah, ORAC Rich, RACH Greens, GREENS. One little scoop of that gives you the equivalent of 6 servings of fruits and vegetables. I strongly recommend that everybody consider that.
But we also mentioned the
Nature Blessed Tart Cherry Juice
Concentrate.
Now there, as far as I know, you got to go to a real grocery store. You won't find it at Walmart's.
Right. Kind of like a Mama Jean or something, or I don't know, Mama Jean would even carry it.
Yes.
Okay. So it's the first one's ORAG.
ORAC, as in cat, ORAC.
ORAC, okay. Because I'm driving by there, I'm going to stop in and grab some. So if I just say I'm looking for some ORAC, they know what I'm talking about then?
Yeah, at Spring Valley, they would.
Okay, gotcha. I'll swing by there. Is that a powder you just mix with something, or?
It's a little cup, a little plastic cup. A cup of it lasts you for a whole month. It's a lot cheaper than buying all those veggies.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well,
but just take it.
But there is a benefit to veggies themselves, the fiber and all that.
Yes,
if you can.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can't do the entire regimen, yes, that's good.
Right. ORAC. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll go in there because I'm just about there right now. So,
Good
all right.
on you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for
All
calling.
right. Thank
And don't forget, folks, you still have time to give us a call. Ask a question, 417-447-1777. We're here for you. Good afternoon. You are on the air.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Shealy.
Yes.
Hi. I was in your office a couple of years ago and got the PIF. And of course, you saved my husband. He's still alive. He was currently in the hospital, and they allowed him to get wounds on his rectum real bad. Those
the cubital ulcers, in other words, the one with the pressure.
Yes, the pressure ulcers. Yes, sir.
Oof, that's terrible.
And of course, So what do you recommend? Dr. Sorin, you told me the other day to put it on the around his rectum so that the PMF
Yes, definitely. I would agree with
help
that.
there.
That will help the recovery. There are a couple of agents, and if you drop by the office, one of my favorites is hypochlorous acid. Now it sounds like an acid, but what it is, Nixol, or it's an equivalent, basically. It's safe enough to spray in your mouth, to spray in my mouth, for example, my eyes. If I, and it's really mild. It's literally what happens when you electrophorese salt with water, basically. So very natural, and I've seen wounds close up very fast. In combination, especially with a topical ozone. It's a topic cream of ozone cream, and we have that in the office as well for those who have any kind of wounds. I would use both in combination. That's our success story so far.
Okay, all right. And they also said that it's undescribable, so it's dead skin on there. Is any of that going to help that, or is it too far gone?
Well, if it's dead skin, then at some point he's going to need a debridement, which is a surgical just to see how far the dead skin.
Yeah, can't do it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, your PEF has saved him for 2 or 3 years. So God bless you guys for being there for us, because the medical people do not really care.
Yes, that is correct.
Blessing to you and him.
Oh, well, I will be over to see you as soon as I can, but thank you so much for some more advancement on how to help. They just say, go home and it is what it is. So thank you for your help.
Hey,
amen. Absolutely. Yes.
And good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi there.
Hi.
I recently purchased your PEMF machine.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know, post surgery, I'd like to know if I can use it.
Absolutely. What kind of surgery
what
do?
was the surgery?
Mastectomy.
Mastectomy.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I would.
And can I use it on the scar tissue?
Yes.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let me give you a little personal story. I feel very passionate about this. So I had my back operation after my car accident in March.
Yes.
It took me, even with my adventurous healing spirit and kind of pushing the envelope, a previous fracture in the leg, about typical 3-month minimum to be able to get walking again, and that was with me being proactive. Now I put the PEMF and I did some other things for the back, and this was a burst fracture of the spine and on lumbar 3, which is a lot worse than any leg fracture you can think of. I was back working in the emergency room within 3 weeks. Now it wasn't fun, but and the scar has closed up beautifully, basically about 3 times ahead of the schedule on the healing. So I highly recommend that device, but also I did something else on Dr. Shealy's advice, which is stem cells, because we do that as well, injection. But between all of those things, the healing can be a lot faster. I would do that 24/7. Yes.
24/7. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you so much. I've been afraid to use it.
No.
Go
ahead, please.
Blessings.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for calling. And time for one more from you, 417-447-1777. Now is the only chance to next Wednesday to get a free consultation with us right here on the air. Remember, we can help you as much as we can, but we can't help you if you don't ask us. I can't tell you. I'm not psychic enough to know what you need, but you are.
Yes. One thing, let's talk briefly. The topic for today's conversation is health and happiness, which go hand in hand. Now, there's a lot of biochemistry, neurochemistry we can talk about in relation, and it's a very beautiful thing. But the bottom line is it works. Now, we do have a caller, so let's go there, please.
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes. What's up?
I have a 35-year-old female relative.
Mm-hmm.
Who has cirrhosis of the liver.
Cirrhosis of the liver. Mm-hmm.
Yes. She has become quite psychotic.
Psychotic. Oh, change in mental status, right? Yeah. That can happen with the liver. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes. We are wondering if there's a possibility that she has this Korsakoff syndrome?
Korsakoff syndrome.
Yes,
well, between that
possible.
and elevated ammonia levels,
Yes.
those are that needs to be measured by blood.
Is she? Where do you live?
I live here in Republic. Her ammonia level, she's had two psychotic breaks, one in February and one about 2 weeks ago. The first one, her ammonia levels were quite high. This time, her ammonia levels are not high. She has been admitted to Cox North, and they've released her, and she really went to Branson and in the psych ward. So, they're treating it as a mental illness and not addressing liver.
Here is where I would use a castor oil pack. Every 12 hours, I put on a fresh castor oil pack, a cloth soaked in castor oil over the upper right abdomen. And all the time. And then here is where the gamma pimp should be used on her head 2 to 8 hours every day.
This is another perfect example of where the conventional system will fail, and it has failed, and no question. It's just not meant to succeed the way it's designed, period. And if anybody who falls into the clutches of the conventional, I say healthcare, but it's not. It's an illness care system, literally. And especially if you don't have good insurance, by the way, it's terrible. So there's got to be a choice for health. But yeah, this is a good situation where a good holistic evaluation would be necessary, because I guarantee you they're killing her in some ways by doing something or not doing something. That's it's a strong statement, but I'll stand by that.
No, we totally agree with that statement, because we're not getting anywhere at all with her, and we feel like it goes back to her liver affecting her brain, and they're treating it as a mental illness only. And
you've got to address the entire human, and especially the root cause.
Correct.
What caused it exactly? Yeah.
On of course, I've been on the web, which. And they're talking about an infusion of thiamine to treat this. Do you know of anyone that does that here in town?
Well, we do it at the office. Couldn't do it at home.
Okay. So you would be a good one to. That's what I told my daughter. I said I'd take her there and get her levels checked and go from there.
Yes, absolutely.
What is your office number, please?
351-5221.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you for calling. Blessings.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, remember, health and happiness are Siamese twins. The choice is yours. All you got to do is think healthy, think happy. Both are equally critically important to you and everyone around you, but especially to you and your family. And the most important thing is, if you need it, laugh. If you don't need it, laugh anyway. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, I just heard that lady, but I missed the first part of what she said. But I just wanted to add that I think you are correct. My husband has liver cirrhosis, and when his ammonia levels used to get high, it would alter his thinking. He would get very confused. But he goes to a specialist at Barnes who knew that was what was going on. And so he has to take medicine to eliminate, and I imagine that's why you told her castor oil to eliminate it, and it comes out your system just naturally.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I just wanted to, if that lady's still listening, that's so sad. They thought it was.
The castor oil pack is 100% safe.
Yes. Oh, yes. And that's just a natural elimination of the ammonia.
Yep.
And so if he has to take something all the time to do that, to not get to that state where he's confused. I'm just sad they thought it was a mental condition, but that is a liver condition.
Exactly. Now, and just real quick, everything is related, holistic, mind, body, and spirit, mental and emotional. You can't separate the mental from the physical, period.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, I just wanted to say that has to be what it is. Her daughter should not have been treated for mental problem.
Great. Thanks for calling.
Blessings.
Sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, I apologize. I'm stopping off over here to pick up some of that. Was it borax?
ORAC. ORAC.
ORAC rich greens. ORAC rich greens.
It's a.
Okay, got it. All right. Thank you, sir. We found it.
Good on you.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Everything affects everything, including speech.
Yes.
So the important thing is we can't make you healthy. We can tell you how to be healthy. We can't think for you. We tell you that you have to think happiness and practice happiness and practice good health habits. Nothing is more important to me. They all go together. Health, happiness, and longevity. One thing affects the other, and one of my favorite topics, of course, is still regrowing your telomeres. And it looks in our latest study, we're not finished with it yet, but we're getting close, showing that we have found another way to regenerate your telomeres.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to stay healthy, practice autogenic training every day of your life. Autogenic training is the single most important thing you can do to retrain your brain, to make your brain, allow your brain, help your brain be healthy. Autogenic training, you can find it on our website, realholisticdocs.com, realholisticdoc.com. And I recommend 100% of people practice autogenic training twice every day for 3 months. It'll change you for the better forever.
Mm-hmm.
It is a way of controlling, restarting your brain in health, happiness. And the most important thing of all is we can't do it for you, but you can. So teach yourself and train yourself and enjoy being happily healthy. Until next Wednesday, have a good one.
Take care. Yeah, we're still live. Let's check in and see if there's any questions, comments, or anything else of that nature.
Let me see here. I see one. All right, so if you can follow along with me, it says, the supplements sound great and they're definitely needed today. However, I and persons like me with advanced CFS and heart failure.
CHF maybe. Congestive heart failure, yep.
Yep. Sometimes they can't tolerate them due to congested extracellular matrix. Any advice there in dealing with that?
So I guess practically the question is for a person who's got fairly uncontrolled CHF, congestive heart failure, with a, I guess, displacement of the intracellular fluid, extracellular fluid, I mean, the ratios and all that stuff, and in terms of taking supplements and safety and effectiveness. So what's your take on that?
Well, the most important is to get B complex.
At the very least.
I would say 2 of the essentials every day is a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And magnesium lotion.
Yes. The fact that, to me, if a person's congestive heart failure is not fully or optimally addressed, it can indeed affect the distribution of what you take, including not just medicine, but supplements too. So one of the main things is to get the congestive heart failure under control. And if it takes conventional medicine, well, that's part of the holistic. That's okay. But that's part of the spectrum. But once it's under control, then the next question is, how do you get to the place where you don't need the drugs as much? Or you can maybe get some or all of them off. And that's part of what we do here at Shealy-Sorin Wellness Institute, which is basically helping people and supporting them in their decision to go from illness model or chronic disease, Band-Aid approach, to a health and wellness approach, a decision to be happy, a decision to be healthy, a decision to be proactive and to live your best life. Because if you don't make that decision, the decision will be made for you in the other direction. And I will say this, I am, especially after what happened to me with this car accident, and I'll just vent for a second here, or for 30 seconds. The fact that the hospital can triple your bill without an explanation, I'm still waiting for an explanation why they tripled my bill. And again, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but it's got to be fair. It's got to make sense. There's no sense. There's lack of sense in the conventional.
It was 2 months later.
2 months later, tripled the bill all of a sudden. No, just here you are, pay it. Anyhow, I'll work through it. What I'm just saying is, if you don't have a good insurance, or if your insurance is not great, you don't have the luxury materially to get into the illness model. Number one. Number two, if you do, in other words, whichever way, healthcare or illness care based model is the number one cause of death in the United States, whether by unnecessary drugs, surgery. There's actually a really good book out there, which is Death by Medicine.
By Gary Null et al.
So the decision to be happy, the decision to be healthy, decision to be proactive, and decision to take best care of yourself is really, it's not a decision, it's a must. But I guess we still have a free will and free choice, and I'm certainly hoping that everyone will choose to be healthy, happy, and take care of themselves. It's not a luxury, it's a must. That's my rant right there. Okay, anybody out there on else?
Yeah, we had somebody asking, is there a difference between using magnesium lotion and a magnesium spray?
Magnesium.
If it's our magnesium spray and lotion, they have the same output.
But one is less, the lotion is 2 teaspoons twice a day, or I just prefer to just do it once and just get it done. Either way, just do it. The spray is a little less sticky. So it's 20 sprays minimum. I use more than that if I have aches and pains or things of that nature. But both of them work, and the fact of the matter is you can choose whichever is the more convenient for you, but the efficacy is there.
Whichever's most pleasant.
Yeah. Perfect.
The last question I saw was somebody was asking about carpal tunnel syndrome. They knew somebody that had surgery, but it didn't seem to go well. Ways to deal with
they need 1,000 milligrams a day of vitamin.
100 or 1,000, sorry.
You have to build up to it.
Yeah.
You need B6 and magnesium lotion.
Now, in your experience, emu oil or any of those, does that help with anything?
I don't think it's carpal tunnel syndrome. No, magnesium lotion would be the best thing right on the wrist.
On the wrist, yeah, topical, perfect. What about castor oil?
Before surgery, yes. Now I don't think it would do anything.
Castor oil is a great lymph detoxifier, but I think Dr. Shealy is absolutely right. It's after surgery, things are a little more complicated. Yeah. All right. Anybody else?
I think that's most of it.
All right. So final words of the day. Choose to be healthy, choose to be happy, choose to be your best self, and let go. Let go and detach from everything that doesn't belong to you.
Have a good one. See you next
Take care.
Tuesday.